So we are Screen 360 TV. Had you a chance to take a look at the MVP?
Yeah, in fact, I was on the call on Monday when you did your first presentation, so I think I understand the gist of it.
Oh, good, good, and I'm glad that that came across in that presentation. We asked you here today to understand about networking big and what some of the obstacles are, networking internationally, what some of the obstacles that you've encountered are, and how to stay as simple as possible. Stay as simple as uh, a child in Spain wanting to Skype with his grandmother on a weekly basis in the United States. As simply as that. Your thoughts, please.
When you say networking, because I work in the networking industry, I need to know if you need like people networking, like social networking, or networking like from a tech perspective.
Oh, good question. Well, I want to say both and, yes, and, because it is ultimately the network that we want to build on, the network of people, but they have to be connected technically. And right now we're using Zoom and as well as Whereby, which are both video conferencing systems. And it might be in the future that one idea was to be the pet philanthropy of Zoom or of Whereby, and I've been working with them both. Neither one has come forth. I mean, Whereby more, but we might need to be our own in the future. But how can we stay scaled modestly so that we can manage it? Or do we have to just let it take off and keep running after it?
Well, I mean, there are so many platforms out there for video conferencing. I would definitely advise against ever trying to design your own. It's a big, complex, heavy lift, and you'd never get the return on your investment.
Thank you. Good answer.
Because there's so many tools out there that are already like borderline public domain, and yeah, so you'll have no shortage of potential platforms. There's Google, there's Amazon Chime, there's it's just such a long list.
Sure.
That will be free forever, I think, for the most part.
Okay, that's good. Good using
Mhm.
that. What about the I guess the issues from country to country? I know that Germany has more stringent protections,
Mhm.
and about 5 years ago underwent a huge evolution in that sphere in protections.
Yeah, there's different personal privacy protections. I think it's called GDPR. You'll have to Google it. It's been a while since I've looked at it, but there are regional um, data protection and regulatory compliance. Often, although not always, the platform that you choose will also have already addressed those regional compliance uh, needs. So that could be one advantage of going with a mainstream video platform like Zoom or Google or Amazon or WebEx. They already thought through that.
Yeah.
The data that you obtain beyond that, like customer records, those I think will be your responsibility to maintain in compliance.
Right.
And sometimes that can be addressed by by the public cloud infrastructure that you use. Like so for example, if you set up your company and you're starting to collect customer data, it'll probably sit in like an Amazon or a Google or a Microsoft public cloud infrastructure. Then you just want to make sure that they're also adhering to those same types of compliance, and I'm sure that they're very, very stringent about that.
Yes, we will be archiving not only customer data, emails and such, and so far we've been collecting them on uh, a Google survey, and and but we will be archiving and archiving. I guess archiving in the cloud has been advised. Archiving. what's best? I mean, how do we, what was it, the Amazon services? What is it? A what is it called? AS
AWS. Yeah.
AWS. Thank you,
Yeah.
AWS. Um, I guess is that what everybody is using, and that's the safest, or
It's pretty much the default. That's like the safe choice.
yeah?
Um, Google and Microsoft both have competitive uh, infrastructure. You can just think of what they do is like in the old days, everyone would buy their own infrastructure, like their own servers and their own storage and networking gear, and then increasingly, public cloud providers like Amazon have just made it really easy to have the benefits of all that infrastructure, but to only pay for it as a service. And so you only pay for what you use, and it really reduces the complexity.
How I could just imagine something like that breaking down. How easy or how hard is it for the cloud to
Yeah,
just
almost never. It's engineered for
wow?
super high reliability, so it's about as reliable as anything you can think of.
Is
And
that
it's not.
universally agreed upon? Did we have a UN in the cloud and everyone shook hands?
Oh, it's better than the UN. It's greedy capitalists. It's
Aha,
Jeff
aha.
Bezos and Associates.
Okay. 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 They figured it out, but and there are people trying to hack at it all the time. Isn't
Oh
that
yeah,
right?
for sure, for sure. But like if you look at a video platform like Netflix, for example, they run their whole infrastructure on AWS.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Okay.
if I'm not sure who Zoom is running on. I think they recently made an announcement that they didn't go with AWS, but
Oh.
there's a lot of choices out there. What about on the customer side? Are you zooming in on the customer segment and the value prop?
Yes, yes, and we have uh, done a lot of certainly interviews with teachers who
Mhm,
are, of course, shifting their lives and would very much appreciate having um, curriculum and
mhm,
materials that are packaged and are easy to use and that work on very contemporary issues like race and society that their students are dealing with. Some of the audience members that we desire, like those people in rural areas, we've had one interview so far when we recognize that things that are considered political, which unfortunately are race, we're going to have to find very astute ways of getting around that because and letting them know that that is part of the divide that they're fighting against so informing their children and letting their children catch up to their peers, their international peers near and far, because
Mhm.
this is what we recognize is that young audiences or young people born into the world today have more possibility to influence each other than ever before because we are connected. So let us work with that. And the pandemic and the racial awakening that we're having in the United States has sparked a lot of empathy, not just looking in on the United States, but looking in on themselves and looking back and forth. So I think there is a thought in the zeitgeist. There is a lot of crossing happening right now, and we can we want to work with that and connect young people internationally. You know what, Jack? We do need to talk to more young people, and I'd like to get my niece on, actually, who's been
Yeah.
protesting daily, and that would be valuable. I mean, in our customer segments, we've been talking about teachers and administration, getting to them, and we decided that they make the decisions for young people. But I think if we take a cue from it was Parkside in Florida, and um, Fridays for the Future, young people are going to be demanding more because they see their peers demanding more. We hope for that, and we should plan for that. And with our each one teach one thinking, we want peers to reach out to each other and inform them. And that's a lot of what's happening now. So I think we would be wise um, to harness that energy and that demand to understand and to connect with global peers and start forging relationships for a more astute global stewardship. Oh, that's the first
Yeah.
time I said it.
To be specific, like we started out, our customer segment was kind of really wide because we were looking at film studios, teachers, students, administrators, and then we realized through doing more interviews, we kind of narrowed it down to teachers and administrators, because administrators at the end of the day create the curriculum and tell school districts what do they need to do in order to teach their students. And we realized if we tailor these movies to AP themes and the core curriculums, we
Yes.
could convince administrators to have Screen 360 and license it into their classrooms. And also we're talking to teachers, because if a lot of teachers are on board, they have a lot of swing as to what the districts kind of incorporate into their curriculum. So if teachers, that's how a lot of things get developed into schools, is that the teachers kind of all rise together. And so we're talking to both right now, and we've kind of narrowed it down. And when looking at our value proposition, the gains achieved are providing immersive curriculum and materials for authentic cross-cultural education to basically stop the isolation which breeds xenophobia and racism. And the pains relieved is the isolation, like we said, is being relieved by creating international peers near and far. That's our slogan. And also providing curriculum that adhere to Common Core standards and AP themes, which we think international films could really tailor to. And the themes are families and communities, global challenges, science and technology, and temporary life, personal and public identities. Those are the 4 AP themes this year, which I think films could be very powerful to kind of teach students those themes. I think it kind of works really well. So that's what we're working on, is a curriculum. And we've also realized that homeschooling is on the rise. And we've
Mhm.
talked to a lot of, or some parents that are homeschooling their students. And they said this would be huge if you could get it into some homeschooling hubs across the country, maybe get it piloting and see if parents really like it, to create, culturally sensitive children for the workforce.
There we are. Nice, Jack.
Yeah.
It's a nonprofit.
Ah,
That's what we're trying to figure out. We're trying to figure out. Craig, our mentor, said maybe starting out as a nonprofit would be beneficial, because filmmakers, I mean, we could gain more donations and make more money that way. But we're trying to figure it out. We don't know if we should go the other route and try to, pitch to investors, or if we should just stay in the nonprofit,
yeah.
you know.
Let me tell you just briefly where it has been. Um, I have developed brick and mortar film festivals, and those were nonprofit projects. So Screen 360 TV continued as a nonprofit project. That said, we were offered 250,000 venture capital matching fund, and so became a corporation. So Screen 360 Inc. is a corporation, and we have equity and a pro forma, and we intend to license access to Screen 360 TV. That's the business model at this point. But really, I mean, I'm seeking team members and investors, and a way to plant a cornerstone to build the network. So it's both a social network as well as the technological network. So then we can build on top of that the other things, the other revenue streams that we've designed.
um, the business model is certainly important. Knowing whose pain you're solving, what they would pay, and how many of them you feel like you could get. And then if you think about that leaf diagram, what are the competing methods that might already be at least partially addressing the same pain point that you're focused on?
Yes.
You know, for example, why not just offer a curated playlist on Vimeo or YouTube?
Which is basically what we're doing now. Through the
Yeah.
pandemic, we've been showing films 3 times a day.
And so that could be a form of MVP that would allow you to get around some of the complex licensing negotiations and content acquisition costs that you might have to grapple with,
Hmm.
and see if you can cultivate a following of your target customers by giving them access to a really carefully curated curriculum and playlist that
Hmm.
might also have a social networking component, but basically leveraging, public domain content as a way to experiment with the hypothesis on your value prop.
That's exactly what we've been doing from April to April, May. And
Mhm.
I have to say, um, there was a lot of competition with teachers first
Mhm.
because they had to flip their classrooms very quickly. So that's when we had a burst of interest, was right when schools shut down. And so I quickly put it up, and then the week or 2 weeks following, school started up again, and so attention was focused on regular school again. So
Mhm.
we lost people, and I kept it going with the build it and they will come idea, and just keeping it out there and developing it, but there has not, quite honestly, been a lot of uptake. It would take a large, first a pilot, and then a large marketing plan. You
There's
know.
just so much free stuff out there. It's on one hand, it's amazing what you can watch for free, like anything from PBS video to God knows what and everything in
Yeah.
between. There's a lot of really interesting content out there already. It sounds like part of what you're offering is a kind of curriculum solution, and the other
Hmm.
part is like a curated list of material that's designed to sort of engage and elevate the thinking of your audience, which I think
Yes.
is a super a noble aspiration. How to cut through the noise and become in essence a brand that drives preference for eyeballs and time uh, is, I think, one important problem you might need to solve before you can get to the funding or the monetization
Yeah.
question.
Well, is that not just time? I mean, we've looked at both having a studio, having live studio audience, and broadcasting in from other locations in the world. I think, yeah, but that is also coordination heavy. And once we have our center, it can happen. Uh, Single events to draw more, where there is more marketing effort put in to draw more people. These single events could develop that audience base as well. I agree with you. I mean, brand. So, but yet here's an opportunity. How else might one go about it? It's just, but standing by and holding the place and continuing to offer.
And one model you might look at as you consider the route to market for your ideas. Think about TED. You have TED Talks, you have TED conferences, you have
Uh-huh.
curated playlists from TED. They know their audience is a certain type. I think in some ways, if you consider your business model and said, well, what if we took that type of approach? It's a mix of carefully vetted. TED, they're having carefully vetted
Hmm.
presenters who give a 15-minute TED talk. In your case, you're talking about a carefully vetted list of films. But what you have in common is potentially an altruistic motivation,
Hmm.
maybe a nonprofit structure, And then it's about how you develop the content and get it in front of your audience in a way that keeps them coming back. And
Sure.
you know, TED has uh, sponsors, like they have commercial sponsors who give a little, you know, commercial. Then I
Mhm.
think they also have people who donate and Patreon type, you know.
Yeah,
Or,
Patreon is something that I've looked at, but I have not taken the time to look at it deeply, and it looks really, really smart. Um, I'm wondering, and I had this question for Craig, our mentor, too. So, for film studios, he says
Hmm.
their objective is is to make money. For tech companies, their objective is to continue to make money. In this pandemic, though, how are they seeing their way to support the recovery? I mean, you're here as a mentor, but would your company um, innovate some way to involve something like Screen 360 TV as an innovation wing, or as a and this is what I thought perhaps movie labs would be interested in, for Screen 360 TV to be a, you know, a little a side test area, for small screens for how they could work in education. That's the question.
most companies, like the company where I am, have a CSR, or corporate social
Right.
responsibility arm.
Yeah.
And many of them have made, you know, public commitments to COVID uh, campaigns in various ways. So um, there's two ways they operate those CSR teams. One is through direct cash contributions that come, you know, from the company's
Mhm.
treasury and get funneled to certain target causes. And the other one is through encouraging their employees to dedicate volunteer hours to those organizations, always nonprofit organizations. So
Mhm.
those are two ways we could potentially try to appeal to those wallets and those hearts and minds
Yep.
by helping
Salesforce
them
is a good
understand.
example. Yeah.
Mhm. There's other, as a minute ago, I talked about YouTube and Vimeo and some of these other existing domains where a lot of this material may already be available. Then there's also potential content partnerships with a Netflix or an iTunes, or you know, their equivalents internationally. They may have a certain allocation or a window where they'd be willing to allow content from their catalog to be downloaded on a promotional basis or a nonprofit basis. Maybe there's a way you could use your playlists and your
Mhm.
cultivated community as a way to bring an audience to those platforms.
Yeah.
In exchange, they give your audience preferential access or you know, 90-day free trial because of their affiliation with your group.
Yeah. Oh, sure. That's a great idea. Yeah.
Acquisition and hosting and licensing of content, I think, is too heavy a lift for where you guys are at this stage. But curating the content, appealing to the audience, organizing the demographic, and
Mhm.
then connecting them with the material seems to me the essence of your model.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
That is it. I mean, acquiring new content is also something I do, but I think I have to find new ways. It was going to film festivals and actually meeting filmmakers and asking them for their rights. Now it's going to be integrating with film archives and film institutes, for instance, and distributors directly. And
Mhm.
so that is also the way. I think that's really great insight. And the CSR is something that I often forget about. So thank you for that reminder. Jack,
Yeah,
have you got any questions?
yeah, I was just gonna ask, you touched on it a little bit, but how exactly would you say we should market Screen 360 to get more people engaged, more teachers or customers engaged? How would you market it?
I'll give you my opinion. It's just an opinion, right?
Sure.
Put it on the list. It sounds to me like you're a mission-driven organization, and I think it starts with being able to express that mission very concisely, and be able to say how you're unlike other, unlike other organizations, you execute your mission in a way that is valuable and unique. If you can crystallize that statement, then I think it's an exercise in taking your mission-driven approach to the right target demographic. I think homeschools might be an interesting one. There, it might not be your ultimate goal, but often, it's about going from a stepping stone approach. Step one, step two.
Yeah,
I think they'd be generally receptive to the idea of an international curriculum. It's maybe also a little bit off the mainstream. Cracking the public schools, I would probably make that like among the last.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. Right.
I'd go homeschools, then maybe private schools, and then like international schools, like schools that offer international accreditation. So like the American school in Lebanon or Shanghai or Croatia. They're a really interesting demographic too.
Yeah.
State Department schools that run overseas could be another kind of a niche.
Yes, and military schools. We discussed that in our last conversation, right?
Yeah, it's a big demographic, and probably wildly underserved.
I think you're right. Yeah. Wow. Good. I wasn't aware of State Department schools, but are those different from military schools?
Yeah. I mean, they're when we send people overseas, they have to go to school somewhere, and so sometimes it's a U.S. institution like a State Department school. Other times we'll be sending our diplomats to some accredited local school that is deemed reliable. But
Sure.
It's not the government.
Yeah. JFK in Berlin, for instance, is a school that I've worked with. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Maybe consider like a series of concentric circles where you start with the core, you test your message, your value proposition, and your business model, and then you think about where the gradual expansion might lead.
That's very nice. I think this is one of the forms in the marketing opportunity navigator that we need to get to yet still, Jack. Okay.
Tools, they're really good for structuring the thinking, which is an important part given the short fuse.
Yes, right. It's so true, so true. Well, Chris, we'd love to let you know how Screen 360 TV continues, and I imagine you'll be there on Friday if we're one of the ones who gets to present. But great.
Is there anyone else you'd think we should contact to get feedback from, Chris?
In my Rolodex, I don't have many of the types of folks who I think would be a good match for what you're looking for, but I'll be listening in. I'm lurking on all the sessions and available. So if something crossed my mind, I'll let you know. But nothing top of mind springs to.
Okay.
Okay.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it looks like a really sunny day where you are in that really cool.
This is my office in Mountain View, but I'm not in it right now.
Looks great. Okay, Chris. Well, thanks very much for all of your input. Really appreciate it.
Both, and
thank you.
Best. Enjoy it, learn, and just receive all the good stuff that's coming. Mike is a legend.
I know, right? Right. Did you have him in school also when you were going?
No. I've met him through other professional associations, but he's like the Steven Spielberg of startups. I mean, I don't think most people understand who he is.
I've overheard people in coffee shops talking about him.
Yeah, he's top tier for sure.
Yeah, no, we're happy that we can work with him. Okay, thanks, Chris.
Right. We'll
bye-bye.
See you later tonight.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Want to stay on, Jack? Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was great.
That was great.
A lot of good feedback. Wow.
Yeah, but it's really fascinating because he's a tech guy, and he doesn't hear the for-profit possibility. He hears nonprofit. He says, "This is not my world. And so,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's soft skills, and but yes, it's true, and the mission, he is true. I mean, I should, yeah. The mission.
I think that TEDx, his comparing it to TEDx is very interesting, and how we basically, I mean, they carefully vet, people to give talks, and we carefully vet, or you carefully vet different films,
Filmmakers. And this is what
and
I'm
then
thinking. Yeah.
yeah, and then you get sponsors and donations like they do. It was interesting how he framed that for sure. I don't know. He said a lot of interesting things, and he also said that maybe homeschooling would be a good place to start.
You know what? I'm just going to throw this out here, brainstorm. So it is a show, and I've always imagined Screen 360 TV as having an audience, studio audience, as I mentioned, it'd be a show with a host. Originally, my friend and who was a trapeze artist, we come in on a trapeze and land with two kids, and so we're hosting with two kids and the two of us, and then we bring in all of these other places that are watching together. We all watch the same film together, and the filmmaker comes on, and we talk with the
Hmm.
filmmaker afterwards. That could kind of happen here. We invite the filmmaker on, he shows the film, and people come. That would be the draw if we get the
Hmm.
filmmaker on. I have a filmmakers, and we have a couple of other filmmakers. Let's test that,
Yeah.
and and test the show. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
test that, and I think we should start to test, and we should be building. Dee Dee will come on here pretty soon. I think we should be building our deck as we're talking. Let
Oh
me
yeah.
share that.
And I think that's why I really wanted to speak with Leonard Moulton, because
Yeah.
he's taught the most famous class at USC for years now, and the what makes it so popular is that he brings on the directors and the actors, and you get to ask them questions, and I think that's so appealing to students, especially who aspire to be filmmakers, or who just want to learn about different cultures. It's so cool to hear the director's opinion and his vision come to life, and I think that adds so much to it. If you could get the directors of these international films, it'd be very cool.
Well, that was the design, and then the
Mhm.
film. That's the design of the film festival, that the
Yeah.
filmmaker is there. Now, if so we probably wouldn't be able to do that regularly, but once a month, something like this. We have one guest and we work up to their film, and that it's easier on us, um, because it's once a month, and we're working, and that we could probably get a lot of support for. And that person is interviewed. We have a kid on interviewing, and then we have other kids interviewing from around. I've always, except in my regular life, I don't have kids, but there always should be a kid beside us when we're talking about children. And
Hmm.
that's why I don't like just teachers and separating them, because I think these decisions should be made with young people as well. And
Hmm.
and my my niece my niece just asked me, so what do you want to interview me about? We'll try and get her up here. She is 20 years old, no longer a teenager, but she has been testing with me on Screen 360 TV since she was, I think, 9 or something like that, 9 or 10, and so she's aware of it. Um,
Hmm.
so let's test that idea, test the show idea when the filmmaker comes up, and
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe we make it kind of like a show, and maybe I could get some kids on. Get
And
kids.
I'm interested to hear what Pamela Douglas has to say about it too,
Yeah.
because
You know,
she might have some ideas, and I know she works in television, but
Yeah.
Maybe we could do shows too. I don't know if you're open to
No,
that.
that's I'm up, super up for that. Maybe if we can do it this afternoon and just get let's see what, if he, oh, that was you. Oh, she's waiting. Oh. Uh, Hi, Dee Dee. Sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay.
So I'm just
Um,
writing to my niece. So we were just talking about the need to talk to some students about what they want to learn right now. And Jack and I just had a nice chat with Chris Stiles, and he suggested the TED Talk model. The Screen
oh, that's
360,
nice.
the Screen 360 TV has always thought that it would have a studio audience, and maybe you saw that in some of the
Yes.
media, that we'd have a studio audience and talk with the filmmaker. Of course, they would beam in,
Mhm.
and it could be a workshop where we're helping the filmmaker get feedback from the kids, and that's part of the idea. So I'm thinking,
Mhm.
if the film is done or if it's not done, they just want to get the audience of them.
Right. Right. That's a great idea. That's a
So
great idea.
we're talking about how we can maybe test that and show it to Jack's teacher, who is a television person.
Oh,
Um,
fabulous. Fabulous.
yes,
Yeah.
So are we preparing for tonight or what are we doing right now?
yes,
Yeah,
Oh, good.
we should
and,
start that. Yeah.
right. And we have a 2 o'clock and a 2:30. Or no, we have a, what do we have? Do we have a 2 and a 2? Let me look at the schedule.
What time is Regina?
Regina is 2:30, and
Oh, okay.
Elizabeth Kavanaugh, a mom and a nurse, is on at 3.
Okay.
So you can.
So, what, do you know
Okay.
what time our office hours are tonight?
Oh, haven't looked yet. 4 o'clock. I haven't
I don't
looked
think
yet.
we got an email yet, actually.
Ah, okay. Let me see. I've got my niece on the line right now. I want to quickly give her a schedule thingy. Can you see? Oh, that's schedule. Sorry, I don't want to distract from that. Copy link. And here is our day 3. Can you see day 3, Dee Dee?
I can see the teacher. I don't know if I see day 3.
Okay, I moved over our cover and our key partners. I want to talk about film. I want to cross out filmmakers, not film studios, because we pushed
Yeah.
Craig about that today.
Mhm. Mhm.
And how do I want to just add a cross on that or something. How do I do that? I'll just use a text box. Yeah. And I've got the list right here. Oh, that. Have you been able to make contact with these guys, with the mentors that we
No,
provided?
I texted you. Did you want me just to use your letter? And I didn't know whether it should be coming from you and we all sit in on it or how we should do that. Do you want me, I could reach out to them, but I thought your intro letter was really perfect. And so I didn't know whether we should just
Use
use
it.
that and
Yeah,
invite them.
use it. And thank you for thinking it's perfect. Perfect is hard to
Yeah.
get to. And yeah, Matt Prusak, I'd love to be on that conversation with Matt Prusak, the healthcare guy.
Okay,
Oh,
okay, then I'll,
and also the FEMA people said we should reach out to Ryan Pietramali.
I reached out to all 3 of the mentors and I got a response from Michael this morning.
Oh, good.
he said he would like to discuss later today.
Okay.
Okay.
He said, a very interesting topic, but not exactly my area of expertise. Please call me later today to discuss.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
nice.
you just sort of like we asked Chris today. So people who don't have the in their wheelhouse,
Right.
how do you think about it? Really, how do
Right.
you think about it? And
Correct.
how would it affect your life?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Let me put this on for me and see and get Ryan here.
Is that day 3? Is that in the Google Drive? I don't see it.
You don't see it?
Or did you just make it
I just
separately?
make it. Oh, do I need to share it with everybody? Whoops.
Well, yeah, because I don't think it's in the Drive.
Okay. There. I'll get rid of that one. Okay. Really nice conversation with Caitlin Jedrzejczyk, and she
Yes.
brought her colleague Logan on, and they both work with FEMA, and they could see how it could be community building, used for community building, and that's really great. Okay. So let me just make sure this is shared with you guys. Oh, it doesn't show. Yeah. Okay. There you go. And as far as the 2 people that I wrote to about joining the team, uh, I saw that one, the MIT guy came on and he tried to get into Screen 360 TV, and there was no one there, so he didn't. So he hasn't written back to me. Maybe it's not sexy enough for him. Okay.
He tried to get on
He
a
tried.
Zoom call.
Yeah, he tried to get into Screen 360 TV thinking that he could see something on demand. So that caused me to adjust it to say, and I said, "You're here. You're on Screen 360 TV for a scheduled event. Click here for a scheduled event." So they will look at the schedule and the program, and so I recognize that my wording might not have been clear enough, and so that prompted that. Okay. So, let me just do a call out here.
So I do have 2 interviews, one tomorrow and one Friday morning with the 2 filmmakers. And so Katie, at some time, I would really like you to let me know what it is that we should be asking the filmmakers, since their role is totally different in this,
Okay,
in this process here.
let's talk about that very quickly. Would they appreciate a revenue share? Would they
Okay.
appreciate the audience and developing, perhaps developing more, developing specifically for this audience? Have they learned from this audience before? What have they learned from this audience? So it's both developing them and asking what they need.
Developing the films for this audience.
Developing their interest in the audience. First,
Okay.
I think you would talk about their audience, and maybe this is a conversation we could have also earlier in the morning,
Mhm.
before, because right now I want to focus on this. And
so my first one is at 6 a.m. your time. So
oh,
I don't think you want to do that.
Okay, why don't you think about some things, because in your experience as a film curator, you have engaged with filmmakers and their needs. So think about those and then present them, then we'll talk about them.
Right. Okay.
So how this would benefit them.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay, here we are on text color.
And then tomorrow, Pam Douglas interview
At 11.
At 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you both want to join, that'd be great.
Definitely want to join.
She's a TV, teaches international TV, and she's in the academy.
Nice.
So yeah, that should be really interesting to
Yes.
discuss. And then on Friday at 1 p.m., Helena Kuliberg, who's a film fellow at Stanford, and she's studying international film, and she was my TA at USC. That's at 1 p.m. on Friday.
1 p.m. on Friday.
Right.
Pacific time.
I have that in my schedule too. That's good. Okay.
And I just, Shelly Hopkins emailed me back and gave me a bunch of referrals to teachers she wanted me to reach out to. So I just emailed all of them.
Nice.
I'll see if they respond. I also emailed some principals of schools and Michael. I don't know when we're gonna talk with Michael, but I'll see where that goes.
Okay. How about this? This is film studios only, but how do they contribute?
What are we doing right now? Sorry.
Back to the
Canvas, yeah.
canvas.
Slide 2.
Yeah. So we want to talk about our tests and changes. So film studios, money only, but they that doesn't.
Well, I think that tonight the focus is on, where'd it go?
Do you have that out, Dee Dee? That'd be great if you guide us.
I do. Okay, so the customer segment. Okay, so we definitely tonight we do need to. Slide 3 is about our customer segment.
Yeah,
and so this is what you're doing right here, right?
Right,
John?
and you've been building a scenario or a persona, right, Dee Dee? That's what we talked about this morning.
Can you define persona for me, please?
Persona, the archetype. So we talked about the cultural geography teacher.
Customer archetype, yeah.
Customer archetype. So, and using the German film, for instance, I could tell a story about a test with the German film.
So when we say that this archetype, are we talking about, the kinds of teachers in particular that we've been like zeroing in on, or?
Well, that's Craig's word, archetype. I want to just say a user. So we've gone out and talked to a lot of teachers. We can kind of create an archetype of a teacher. So we would call it a composite persona in design thinking. So based on what we have learned from our interviews, what that person needs. So a bit about, that they are really interested. And so let's build that person now. I mean, John was a really great example, but you also had an example, and I'll bring those ones forward, which are over.
Excuse me. But it is, like we have a little clip of John, or I don't know what we've got of John here, but basically we've talked to a lot of teachers. We've heard repeatedly, this is what they want, right? This is they're interested, and these are their needs, correct? And identify those needs. That's our customer, correct?
Yeah, something like we saw was it the first group or the second group who presented? Well, it was the first group that presented yesterday. And Craig was delighted to see that all of the customers were there. So I would say that
you mean the customer stories yesterday.
The customer stories. And this is what we've learned from. And one decision that we've made is that we're going to, we believe that teachers are it. So we're going with teachers. But we also want to get some of our saboteurs, which could be the students, right? The students could say, no, we want something that is, we don't want a story that's just a film that is just filling the hour. We want something that's now, so that's why I think we should speak to some students.
Yeah, and I think here you should definitely introduce Finding Felix, because he was a student, right?
He was, well, yes, and and we can show a clip of him saying, films tell you
Right. I
Yeah.
think you should put that slide in here too.
Okay.
Um,
Great. Thank you. Thank you. That's good.
But,
So
okay.
Jack, are
So
you going back and forth, or I'll do that. Let me get that, because we didn't talk. So this is the one. Maybe I'll just take one. So
I think if we were going to make a graphic of some sort, as far as like our customer segment and these teachers, I think that the insights we get from them, right, that we've gotten from them, is what we're speaking about. I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Correct?
I think we should take like, I know I didn't have time to do this, but I think powerful quotes from all of our interviews and put them on one slide would be very effective.
I do too. I do too. So therefore, I think that we could, like, let's say for instance, Gordon Jack. Okay, Gordon Jack, who asked, you know, as we were speaking, well, he was the one that said the teachers drive access, correct? I mean, they drive the curriculum. The teachers.
but did
well,
he
they don't
say
drive
that?
the curriculum.
And Scott also said that. Really
Who?
was backed
Who?
up by um,
Scott.
Scott Sullivan. So here we go. So let's use this page, and teachers said, we can use some pictures and say teachers said, right?
Right.
Teachers
Quotes.
said.
Just quotes. I don't think it to say teachers said, you know, but
Yeah.
All right. But go ahead, and a couple of pictures and some quotes. You want to work on that, Jack? And I'm going to go up here and
Sure.
change, because the 504 was not good today. So total interviews today, because Craig said, and I don't know about
I
asking.
think we should keep the 504 because they all.
well, he said a footnote. Make it a footnote, right?
Make it a footnote.
It's okay. No, he said make it a footnote.
Let's use total
Well,
class okay, here we go. Interviews today, total class interviews, and total interviews for, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Class
Yeah.
interviews to
Yeah.
date. Class interviews, okay.
You could say, yeah.
Class total.
Yeah.
Okay, total interviews to date, yeah. Okay, so today we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. We've got 2 more still, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Total class. And oh.
So is that 24? No, it's more than 24, right? Didn't we have 20 the first day? No, second.
I'm gonna go back to that list.
I think, yeah, it's 24 because we had 20 yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, and that actually worked really well. That when I was moving to the other list, we talked about them and got the insights out. So let me bring that up again, and I will take it out of that. All right. And that was yesterday's, right? Okay. And I'm going to our main list, which is here. Oh, come along now. Come along, come along, come along. There we are. Okay. There. Oh my God, I could have 3 screens at the same time. Amazing. Okay. So day 2. Here we are, day 3, friends. Oh my goodness.
No, I know, it's crazy. Oh. It's unfortunate. I mean, it's good that it moves fast, but it looks like it's a really good class to take.
I know, and just think about all of those whew, those experts that we can still talk to.
Mhm.
Jack, did you say you reached out to Brian Pietramali?
Um, are you talking about the mentors? I reached out to Yadish, Michael, and Glenn.
Okay. They want us to reach out to Ryan about licensing. How would it look to work with? So that's really good. They gave us some really nice feedback. They said it was one of their favorite ones of all the lists. They went through all of the challenges, and this was one of their favorite ones. Okay. So we'll have Regina. And they got back very quickly, both of these mentors. So if I ask them later on, and not interfere with our tasking here.
What was the best quote from Alyssa Nazelli?
Okay, I'm looking for it right now. Okay.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Oh, I didn't even get a chance to put them on here yet. All right. This was, all right, Jessica 2. Caitlin Jessic. Oh, wait, that's not, is it? Oh, there it is. Good, good, good. Caitlin Jedrick. Okay, interviews. Katie Didi. Okay. Good. And then ChrisStiles. Jack. Okay. Community builder.
I don't remember the best quote Marhanik. He said so many good things. I forgot what the most.
Well, you know what was what pained him. One of his pain points was being an affluent school, and there was a struggling high school, a public high school down the street. And so that really connected with the each one teach one and the sister part. So that was a big one.
Oh my God, Lisa had a really good quote. You think I can find
Well,
it?
let me see what you might have given it to us already. Let's not take. Let's see.
I think I
Oh.
had a different note pad for that one. I think that's what happened. I got it.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
One of the things that she said that, that this fit perfectly with her school district, because the mission of her school district was cultural literacy. That was definitely one of the driving pieces.
So the mission of our school district was cultural literacy.
Yeah, right. Cultural literacy, yes. And obviously, you know, promoting communication skills, which she felt this was right up that. And she's felt that it definitely 100% was a way to break down barriers.
Recorded. Yes. Have I gotten that up yet? Somewhere. Oh, shoot.
Is there some way that we can, like, instead of putting the quotes like in a box, can we, like, you know, like paste them around the slide, you know, so they stand out just a little bit?
I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do that right now.
Okay.
What do you mean? Like in quotes, as like in bubbles? How about in bubbles? Use speech bubbles.
Right. Anything besides like a block like this, you know.
Yeah.
I could tell Jack had to do a lot of these, and you're doing a lot of these for school now too, right, Jack? Did you use them in high school as well as college?
Yeah, we use this a lot in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fantastic. You mean like your generation, for heaven's sakes? It's like I'm so jealous. It's like, whew. It's a piece of cake for you. It's like for me, it's like, oh. That's right.
Did you
So
notice too, Dee Dee? Oh, sorry, Dee Dee. Did you notice too in our interview earlier with Caitlin and Jared or Logan that they did not respond to the kids at the border?
I absolutely did. I was,
yeah.
Yep. It just, see, that's the whole thing. It validates the fact that you don't get an opportunity. A very small segment of the population has access, you know, to this kind of, you know, experience. And so therefore international films just doesn't happen. It doesn't they don't get to see it unless somebody, you know, they have to, unless they have to.
Oh,
you know?
oh, right. Well, that especially, I couldn't present an international film, but that he grew up with two parents who were in the Peace Corps. That's another experience. That's an experience like an ambassador's kids would have. You know, that they did have a cultural awakening like that and presenting. So that's very interesting. But no, I asked if FEMA addresses issues, emergency issues like the kids at the border. And I think that is a Homeland Security area, and they may not be working in it.
Are you kidding me? That's the last thing. There's no way they're going to do anything like that. No, Homeland Security is not going to approve anything like that.
Right. No, I mean, this is, yeah. Okay.
It's sad. Yep, it's sad.
Do respond to, so they, no need to write that, I guess. Okay.
So this is our customer segment. See, all these terms, it's like, it's like they don't click, you know, they're just like terms to me. I go like, okay, what does that mean exactly?
That's,
you know?
that's all right. It's great that you're learning this, Dee Dee. It's really useful.
It's just the jargon is like, okay.
Yeah, I know. And it's different jargon from design thinking jargon.
Right. You know, it's like, okay, tell me what you're talking about here. But it's business. It's business, you know?
It is business, right. And it's good to immerse in business. Good to understand it. I always did not.
It's like as a teacher that's like so far removed from you. It's like the business world is like, okay, no, we have.
Well, but it shouldn't be. And this is what was my pushback to ChrisStiles. So if we're so far removed from this and somebody else is taking care, how do we CSR, corporate social responsibility. That's
Mhm.
what they say. So big companies can make money. They have social responsibility, corporate social responsibility that takes care of the things to show that they care. So it's
Well,
a
this is like, right, this is like when a business comes in to take over a school district, wants to run it like a business. Schools are not, we're educators and we're not about, the bottom line I mean, it's like we have kids. These are people that we're working with, that we're trying to, educate. So
right,
it's like the business model. It's like,
right,
okay,
right.
we're schools. We don't usually have much money, and we have a lot of things we deal with, a lot of kids, a lot of issues, parents, a whole bunch of stuff, and it's like, so when, to look at it, customer segment. Oh, okay.
I know. It's
Value
interesting, and to
proposition.
think of students as users. That's another strange thing.
That's
Um,
what I have to do. Yep.
okay. Uh, any besides the TEDx thing, Jack, for ChrisStiles, what was your takeaway?
Oh, he said so many good things.
Oh,
Uh, we need to watch that one back because he gave a lot of good feedback on where to start. He,
Mhm.
he
I'd like to see that. Yeah, I'd like to see that one.
I think I put it on, and it's getting ready. It's almost up.
and by Friday, I'm definitely gonna watch every single interview and then collect all the best quotes to put on a customer segment slide because I think
Yeah,
that's super powerful.
yeah. Really, really valuable. Really valuable. Uh,
What did he talked about the nonprofit thing like Craig was
yes, he
kind of
also brought
alluding
it up.
to.
Is it a
And
nonprofit? He said
he
nonprofit, right?
said we should be focusing on licensing. We should be focusing on gathering an audience right now and networking. And maybe he said the first step should be homeschooling and reaching out to homeschooling
Uh-huh.
hubs. And yeah.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of that. We have.
How do those quotes look? Do they look better? Or
Yes.
Let me
Yes,
look at
they look
that.
better. Much better. Do we want to throw in the one? I mean, I don't know. I mean, if it's insights, certainly, like the Spanish teacher, it would definitely, she would use it because it's authentic,
Oh,
authentic
that looks
language,
nice.
authentic language kids are using, but also if it was tied to the AP Spanish themes, I don't know.
Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
that
Teacher, it should be teachers drive content.
No, they drive access. They don't drive content.
Okay. But that's okay. Then
he
teachers.
said access. Did someone else say
Access to
content?
us. Sullivan said teachers drive the content.
Okay, I'll add that one.
That's great.
I mean,
That's
That's a whole different.
well, that is very different because like we all have standards to teach. So I don't know about driving content,
well.
so
But we did say that if a teacher wants something, it can put in for it and can gather and promote it to other teachers, and that's one way of getting information up there. So, and it's not it's Scott Sullivan.
Scott Sullivan.
Scott
Okay.
Sullivan. And he's
is
director
he
of curriculum.
Public or private?
Public.
Public.
Yeah. He said his job as director of curriculum is to listen and to encourage the teach. So maybe that's why his school district does so well.
What school district is that?
It's Estacada School District in Oregon.
Oh, okay.
It's a small school.
I think that Jack, I think you should put down whatever he is, superintendent or whatever a superintendent. I think that's important.
Yeah, put down their titles. So he is director of curriculum. Let me just make sure that he got that right.
Should I put everyone's title then on all
Yes, I think so.
Okay. You could put, well, okay, whoops.
That's interesting. It's getting.
It's scary that there's pictures of everyone out there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this
That's
is
like,
him. Let's see. 2015, Estacada News. Here we are. There's Scott. Director of Curriculum, Instruction and Assessment. He was a social studies teacher. Okay. Holding up that book. So we have had two teachers direct.
Also, Hopkins said she would love to keep consulting down the road if you guys are open to it.
Cool. That's nice. I think that's how put a number in there of number of teachers who said they would pilot and continue down the road. Let's do that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you remember what Hopkins said, Dee Dee? You said if you gave me films that fit our AP themes.
Oh, that was Tiffany Caro. Yes, she definitely saw the value in this, but especially for her if they were if the films were connected to the AP, Spanish themes.
That was Tiffany?
Yeah, Tiffany Caro.
What did she say? Sorry.
Here, I've got it.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, God, no, it said AP themes, brevity of films, cultural comparison, and she would pilot.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Yeah. That's what I have here, the main notes.
Yeah, I was asking for like a good quote though.
Yes, she said that there was definitely value, okay, in these films, especially because they were authentic language that was being used, and if they were tied to the AP themes, Spanish themes.
And that's Tiffany, what's her last name?
K-A-R-O-W.
K-A-R-O-W. And she's an AP Spanish teacher?
Yes, AP Spanish teacher.
Yeah. Oh, you two are presenting today, remember?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to I think that Jack should take the lead in the sense that I don't want to have that little fiasco with me trying to access it from my side because I'll botch it up for sure. So I can type in. Yeah.
I'll introduce and stuff, and then you can talk about all the people you've interviewed.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. And then we tonight it's this, tell us how your value proposition appeals to or matches those customers. I think that's what we're doing right now, right?
I think so.
We're kind of getting both of those slides together.
I think we are.
Yeah, I think we are with 3 and 4, slide 3 and 4. We can say we combined them,
Okay, these are all blue.
And Katie, I think that when it comes to this value proposition, I think our main value proposition was about, this isolation or this cultural literacy, correct?
Yeah. So the pain point is the isolation breeding xenophobia and racism.
And our value proposition is that we can address this, correct?
And we provide immersion, curriculum, and materials for authentic cross-cultural education.
Can you bring that slide over that I put in the previous one that was
the one on here, I'll do it.
The gains and pains.
The gains and pains, yeah. It's kind of we say that at the end, at the beginning, so why do we need to say it a second time?
It's worded a little bit differently.
Okay.
What do you mean? The business model, you mean? Canvas?
Well, I guess we didn't get to see it a second time. Do you want it in number 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Whoop. We can fix that. Fix that. Oh, it ended up in number 5 because did they want to hear anything about our tests today?
They want to hear what our experiments are going to be, our proposed experiments
Well,
Yes,
to,
so
te-
the
to test the
experiment.
customer service.
Okay. Well, the
you should
experiment.
just finding Felix in there.
Okay.
What'd you say, Jen?
You said put finding Felix in there. Okay, and I can talk about that, but I can talk about the other experiments where we're testing the markets that we thought we could go to understand how they might work.
Yes.
So we did that a little bit today. Okay, so the finding Felix one is right here. So put that up here. Is that the next place? Is that where it goes in number 4, the experiment?
No, it's actually 5.
Slide 5. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're combining 3 and 4 together. I really do. So which is not a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. But just so I don't think we have to hold true to these number slides exactly as long as we present it.
Well, right. That's what Craig said. Move around.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if this runs.
And I think tonight, the 3 of us, if they have questions, I think any one of us can answer the questions, whoever's like, we feel that it's got the best answer for them clearer.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Meet Felix at about the time I met him in 2000.
I didn't mean to do that. I meant to find, okay.
Gordon Jack is the Los Altos librarian.
Correct.
Okay.
I was hoping I could find a quote from Margaret Bennett, who's the department chair for English department there, but I can't find a good one.
Sorry. Not that. But oh yes, that's what you said. Focus on curation, ChrisStiles. Yeah.
And I think she also, it was very important to her and her department to make it so that it works cleanly, so teachers don't have to fuddle around with trying to make it work. Something that's seamless for them. So the platform was important to her.
Alyssa Nazelli, what's her job title?
Oh, she's a social studies teacher, and she teaches facing history and ourselves at Lakewood High School. So she's a social studies teacher. And this is to me, it's really interesting that there's 50% free and reduced kids at that school.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a segment, that need also, it's an underserved, segment, which I think it's really huge. I think, well, you know what?
God damn it. Sorry.
And also, I don't want to just say 50% free and reduced, but also there's no diversity. I think sometimes when you think 50%, free and reduced lunch, you think it's a minority population, but in this case, they're all white.
That's right, and I think that's fascinating and great to point out. Really great, right? Because when we hear free and reduced lunch, then we often think of inner city, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, rural.
But rural. I mean, I'd like that to surface more. And do we have a rural? Christina Kavanaugh was a rural school district.
Well, Elisa Nazelli is for sure.
Oh, where is she?
She's in Lakewood, Ohio.
Oh, good. Definitely, I would note that, Jack, rural Ohio. Rural Ohio.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So these are all the positives.
Well, these are the, yes, these are the things that say we should move. To me, we interpret this as go for it, right? I mean, move forward with developing this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Any others? Today we had 4.
Right.
Someone's calling me.
Okay,
I'll just take a mute.
sure, I'll continue.
So tomorrow's Thursday, and then Friday we have our final presentation. I don't know what that's going to look like yet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let me see if if that is up.
And then
Oh,
I'm
this
going to
is
have a
her.
glass of wine after that. Okay.
Oh, Vela. Oh, this is her. She's she's not going to accept me. She's got LinkedIn. Let's see if she's got a. Oh, Laura. Does anybody have? Do you have LinkedIn Prime Premium?
No, no.
I don't do it either.
Are you looking for her picture?
No, I'm looking for her contact. I wrote her via the Vail, Oregon.
Oh, oh.
She does have a doctorate in education, and she's committed to working in rural areas. Good. Find her.
Who is she? Who is she?
She is a teacher at the Vail High School. It's the rural high school that I went to, and
Oh,
she's a new teacher there. And if she's from Louisiana, she understands race issues, and so she is teaching government and speech and things like this at this rural high school, and she could be one who could get me in there. And I've asked for a direct. I wrote her last night, and it's the high school that I went to. You'd think they'd be a little more interested, but not taking it up so far. So it's that political thing that we deal with.
So here it says that tonight one of the discussion questions is what is this MVP? You know, like what MVP did we use during our interviews?
Well, the MVP is the website, the Screen 360 TV website.
Is that really?
Yes.
MVP?
Minimum viable product.
Oh, well, I'm not, okay, you talk about that because that's not, if they ask us that.
Which slide is that?
No, it just said, after slide 6, it just says, what did you learn about your value proposition from talking to your first customers? And so one of the bullets is what MVP we used during our interviews.
Okay.
Would that be the Zoom or what? I mean, what are they talking about?
Well, yeah, it's using the Zoom embedded. Oh, that's not it. Oh, sorry. I don't know where that Zoom went that we just took with ChrisStiles.
Oh no, I would like to see that actually.
Yeah.
I had to take a shower. I'm 3 hours later than you. I'm going, oh my God, I need to take a shower.
Recorded, Jack Brisson, okay. All right, sorry about that. I'll have to find it later with ChrisStiles. Okay. Let's go back to Dee. Let's go ahead and get back on our design for today.
Okay.
This is day 3. Where did our day 4 go? Did I lose that? Syllabus. What's that? We don't need that right now.
I'm waiting for Gavin Newsom to speak yet. I'm waiting for Gavin to speak.
Oh, good. All right. I guess I lost that. Day 2, day 3. Let's go back to that. There's day 3. Thank you.
Yeah, 4 should be value proposition, so I'll move that to 4.
Okay.
And then 5 is what are your proposed experiments? You can put finding Felix there.
Yeah, and then the others are.
And And then we should just delete these end slides with Gordon Jack, and because we don't need those on there.
Right. We've yeah. Okay.
Um,
I can just call this the completed experiment. First is finding Felix.
Yeah, and add more to that. And then our last slide is, what did you learn about your value proposition from talking to your first customers? So we need to include the hypotheses that we have. And then, so add that as slide 6. Hypotheses, experiments, and MVP.
Okay, let's talk about that. Our hypothesis is, and we talked about that, Dee Dee, that cinema provides travel-like experience.
Correct.
And
is that our hypothesis?
Our hypothesis is that teachers can teach their students through international TV, right?
Well, I think it's a little broader than that. Let me see. So, this is coming from several decks back. That the schools need to provide education that provides young people with preparedness to be internationally prepared.
Yeah, but I think that doesn't come across as a hypothesis, though, because that one is, we're kind of like we're dictating what schools should be doing, and I don't think that's where we want to be.
But then the workforce is commanding that we have that we are more culturally literate.
Right. But I think, I mean, I don't know. Did we ever formally have a hypothesis? I don't remember.
No.
I don't remember.
We never formally had one, but we kind of.
Let's look at let's look at our drive and look at the decks that there are there, and I need my tools to present them.
Because when I was thinking earlier today, and I was thinking about pains and gains, but I was thinking, you know, as the problem, let's say, is recognizing the importance of the need to incorporate cultural literacy into the curriculum, into schools. But I don't know if that's a hypothesis or
not. I should be able to tell you that which I've been working on, and then we can conform it to now. So I just want to get that clearly from my decks.
Okay, well, I just put down the hypothesis, experiments, MVP results, and then the iterate part that I think that we're doing, but you guys can edit it. I have class right now at 1:30 to 3:20. I'll be back at 3:20, and we can keep editing it.
Okay.
Thank you. I have to send it off pretty soon, though. Okay, Jack. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot again.
All right. See you guys.
See you later.
Have fun.
All right. Hold on. Just need to. Where is? Okay, we don't need that. I just need to clear it so I can think. Okay. Get frazzled sometimes when there's too many things going in, and I have all of this, and I should be able to spill it out like this, and I can't. Not yet.
No. That's why with the lingo here, it makes me really nervous, because it's like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about. So
yeah. No. Okay. Here we are. All right. This is it. The screen. So this is the information, the background information. So let's look at our pitch. Okay, Screen 360 TV is an equal playing field where K-12 audiences spark global empathy and meet their peers through the film festival experience. That's the pitch. Okay.
Yeah, but okay,
okay, look at this. Okay, then there's this one. So let's look at the other one. Okay, students face an increasingly globalized world as funding continues to diminish in schools and institutions serving the future workforce need an economical way of providing immersive experiences that prepare empathetic, collaborative global citizens.
Perfect. Perfect. I like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that I think that's good.
Okay. and that's too much to say, but I need to have that memorized. You know,
It's important.
I just need to be able to. I mean, Rochelle was great when she asked me, "What's your 1-minute elevator speech?" And this
Oh,
is it.
really?
Students face an increasingly globalized world as funding continues to diminish, and funding continues to diminish, and we're faced with new realities. Schools and institutions serving the future workforce need an economical way of providing immersive experiences that prepare empathetic, collaborative global citizens.
And I even like your bullets right below it too. I think this is all good. I think this
Okay.
is all good.
This is, yeah. Okay, so
I like it.
let me. I should be able to grab it, or should I just screenshot it?
Whatever's easier for you.
Okay, because this is kind of what we have here. Oh, jeez.
I like this. I like this slide here. I really do.
Where did it go? There we go. Ah. All right, this is not where did it go? No more. Oh, we do have it. You and I are on that interview. Sorry, where did?
What time? Yeah, what?
It's
2
at
o'clock?
2:00.
Okay. Okay.
Here it is. Sorry.
2:30. You've got 2:30, I think. 2:30.
Oh, 2:30. Right. Okay. Good.
2:30. Get back 30. Have to add 3 all the time.
I mean, this was the value proposition initially, but it's still that was the first hypothesis that we put up.
Yeah.
That was the first hypothesis. Okay.
I think it's perfect, Katie. I do.
Okay. With that, the 56.6 million. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Day 3.
Yeah, and I would. I don't know. I think I would if you could highlight that the actual hypothesis here. You know, to make it stand out. That would be better. You know, so that would be highlighted.
And which one does that? Where does that need to go?
Your second bullet. Just I would say bring the whole slide over if you could,
Yeah.
and then highlight the actual hypothesis.
Okay. Which slide is that? Slide 7?
The one that, oh no, I think we just put this, let's just put this one.
Where do we put it?
It should be 5. It should be part of 5.
5 is experiments.
I'm
So-
sorry, it's 6.
6. Okay.
No, wait a second. Let me hang on a second. Hang on. Let's see.
Oh, this is what, okay, it is 6. Jack wrote, hypothesis, teachers can teach their students through international films. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and that's not
It's too
developed enough.
simple. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. This is, I appreciate Jack thinks quickly and gets it out there. That's great.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I think that one we have is perfect.
Okay. I'm going to move this up. I'm going to take this actually
Mm-hmm.
and put it here. Okay. And I'm going to take that. This is our first, is that it? Yep. Okay. Okay. Okay, don't have to. Value proposition, hypothesis. But then we changed it, right? Good. This just feels like it's going backwards a little bit, and we talk about how it's changed. Okay.
What do you mean?
Um, just feels like we keep going back, which we should, and our hypothesis has changed a little bit.
Do you think it has? Where is it? What'd you do with it?
Well,
Where
I
is it?
mean, here's our
Oh,
hypothesis, right? And then we move them together. Xenophobia and nationalism are on the rise, and we push those together. The 56.6 need.
I think that now that we've talked and looked at it again, that really what you had in that one slide that you and I were talking about a minute ago is, I don't think that it's really it's in there about the xenophobia and the nationalism, but I don't think we need to actually call it out like that. I think the slide that we were just looking at, it does a better job. And as a result, the byproduct will be, right, that you're going to,
That's what I thought, but it was Craig who gave us that other one. Well, then just say it. If you're talking about xenophobia and racism, then say it.
No, I don't think we need to do that. I think that it works against us, because people then are going to feel like we're judging somehow,
Well, you're right. You're right, and that's why I have a hard time saying it, because then you get people to shut them down. But
Right.
so
Yeah.
that's something to ask Craig about, and we should ask point blank, when we say those words, what do you feel?
Right.
And ask our people that, so that's a test. That is a test. So let us ask that here.
Okay. So the students face an increasingly globalized world. Oops, where'd it go?
Right here. Okay.
Yeah, where is it? Yeah, can you just highlight that little segment?
This middle segment.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that right now. Have to do it with a shape. Let's do it with a shape. Let's do it with a nice round shape like this one. Whoops. And then we have to make it transparent. Border color, we'll give it that nice green, and we'll make it nice and thick. And we just want to highlight, really. Come back. This is highlight. All right, this is highlight, just a nice gold. That's wrong. Sorry. Oh, I'm doing it with a transparent fill. I just wanted to highlight that. Okay, hold on. I think what I can do. Watercolor tools, fill, transparent, there. And I didn't need to do, I don't think it's going to let me do that. All right. Highlight color. So I don't think I can highlight it because it's, how about that? Is that a ring like that?
Yeah, that can work for sure. Yeah.
That will, because it's a, does that look blurry to you? Let me put it on.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll put it on percent. How's that look?
Clear.
Clear. Okay, good.
Clear. Very clear. Very nice.
The only reason it was blurry was because it was a PDF showing through.
Oh, I know. I was like,
I just had to test. Okay.
I like this slide. I like it.
Good. Okay, let's go back to the test areas. Okay. And so results, homeschooling is a niche. Okay. Those are test questions. I'm just going to the smaller. Oops. Oh, Jack was moving fast so he could get out. That's a difficult thing I noticed with the PhD that I was working with, who had to get her thesis done, so she had to move things really fast according to her schedule, and it was difficult. And
It is.
so we couldn't find that groove where maybe I was moving a little faster and she was moving a little slower. And
Right, exactly.
whoop. Okay. Teaching. Okay. Teachers can emulate travel, foreign places. That's why I use travel, but it's not necessary. It can emulate foreign places, immersive through immersive international films. Okay, experiments. Okay, asking teachers how they prepare their kids to be empathetic and aware and empathetic young people ready for the workforce. Okay. And what do we say? Culturally literate. Yeah.
Right.
Prepare their kids ready for the and how do teachers teach cultural literacy? I don't think, I mean, in your years as a teacher, did you use this term, culturally literate?
Absolutely, we did.
You did.
Absolutely,
okay.
We did.
Good.
Yeah, for like 15 years. Yes, we started like 15 years ago. Yeah, definitely. In English, it was the novels that they read, and yeah, and it was always about perspective in the social studies classrooms. Yeah, I mean, Los Altos is like they're like partners with Stanford, so we get a lot of we had a lot of exposure.
So it was really a boon for you to step. I mean, not only for you, for them, and for you to step into the Palo Alto Mountain View School District. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I can imagine the nation looks there. Okay, and so MVP, Screen 360 results, homeschooling, and completed experiments. Okay. I don't know if I don't quite know why that goes there.
Yeah, make the screen capital S, okay, and then space between TV and results. Yeah.
Is that what's supposed to happen on this page, the MVP?
On this one here is, what are your proposed experiments to test the customer segment, value, proposition, channel, and revenue model of the hypothesis? So how are we going to test the customer segment, the value proposition, the channel, and the revenue model?
The revenue model we haven't tested yet. Testing revenue, we've been testing it through, test. This, I don't want to lose his work, but I want to put it someplace else for now.
Right. And Katie, I think you're best here at presenting this slide for sure.
Okay. This is what makes me fall apart when the whole team isn't together, when the whole function isn't here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're all together.
You're right. I mean, that's.
Yeah. I think it's smart to divide it up. I really do.
I mean, that's normal. We have to. I'm just going to create a page that says outtakes. And okay. Uh, all right, experiments, and what that is, interviews with. Oh, come on, that's the difficult thing within. It's hard to work within uh, the app itself because it's just
Oh,
sticky.
okay,
It's
yeah.
just sticky. It's hard to do, and Jack was great with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
he is.
Interviewing teachers.
I'm going to run to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay. I don't know what I mean. Jack's.
You live in San
And
Francisco? Do you live in San Francisco?
not anymore. Not. I
Oh,
mean,
where
I'm in
are you?
I'm in Portland right now.
Oh my God. I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Oh
Oh
no,
my
so
God.
funny.
You're in Portland right now?
I'm in Portland right now. I'm just outside of
Holy
Portland.
crap. I had no idea. I thought you were in San Francisco. That is funny.
Um, okay. Two concepts. Like. Because
Yeah,
we,
I
you
don't
know what,
know.
we really, have we been actually saying that to people? We haven't been using the term xenophobia and in,
No, no.
no.
I think that, I think we can speak to this without having to type all this on there, so I think therefore, your complete experiment, this finding Felix, I think that you can talk about it, I think maybe just the very first, sentence is all that's necessary, and then you speak to it.
Finding Felix and testing in other customer segments. Completed, okay.
Right. I think the very first sentence in the box, and then the other, you can have a little side note to yourself or whatever. But I think that we don't need to type all this in.
Okay.
I really think, I think less is more, and just the bullets, and then you talk about it.
Okay. Just these two. Testing, so with other considered markets. I mean, it's kind of what we are we wrote up there. I have a hard time with redundancy, but we have to
Right.
speak it. You know, I have a hard time. So it's up there. We've been talking about it for days. Why do I need to
Right.
repeat it?
Exactly.
But we do.
Exactly.
But we do. Okay. That's
Just take out the testing hypothesis, and when it's your turn to speak, just speak about it. Talk about why you did the interview with Finding Felix and what you were doing. You were testing out.
I think it helps me to have it there. I need the prompt.
Okay, but then you know what you do though? You start reading it.
No. I mean, you're right, but it's so short that I think it's okay.
So what are we doing with this? What's your intention, do you think? Are we going to show the clip, or what are we going to do?
If there's time to show the clip.
I think we have 12 minutes. Okay, we have 12 minutes.
Yeah.
How long is the clip?
It's 30 seconds. I have to.
For heaven.
How do you think maybe these films influenced your life?
And it gives you a feeling that the way you live isn't the only way possible, and that there are other ways to think about life, and even to make movies. And
in general, I think that international films will have an impact on the way children look at the world. Watching films like that, watching international films as the ones we are talking about, as they are shown at the Kinderfilmfest, I think definitely contributes to this kind of perspective, this kind of openness.
How long was that?
Oh, I didn't time it, but it's perfect. It's a perfect clip. I don't think it can't. I'll time it. Play it again. I'll time it.
Okay. Here we go. Are you ready?
No, hang on.
I think it's
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, it's going. Oh, not yet. Shit. There is a.
How do you think maybe these films influenced your life?
And it gives you a feeling that the way you live isn't the only way possible, and that there are other ways to think about life, and even to make movies. And
in general, I think that international films will have an impact on
Oh shit! Sorry. It's about a minute and 30, minute 19, I think. Here.
Okay. I think we have
How
time.
do you think maybe these
really
films
relevant, though.
influenced
1 minute.
your life?
And it gives you a feeling that the way you live isn't the only way possible, and that there are other ways to think about life, and even to make movies. And
in general, I think that international films will have an impact on the way children look at the world. Watching films like that, watching international films as the ones we are talking about, as they are shown at the Kinderfilmfest, I think definitely contributes to this kind of perspective, this kind of openness.
Okay, so that's 1 minute. Yeah, 11:27 to 11:29.
Yeah.
1
we
minute.
have time.
I think so. So I think it would be good, because it would be stupid if we don't use it.
I think so too. Yeah. Let's use it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So that is, we have a hypothesis, and one of the discussion questions for slide 6 is, is us saying, here's what we thought. Okay, this is our hypothesis, and here's what we thought. You play the clip, okay? And so that just validates what we thought, correct? The impact of this, them watching this film.
Yeah.
And then the experiments are, so here's what we did, our experiments. And so maybe that's the experiment part of it there, right there. So here's what we did.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, and
that
I
would be it?
but this is not what we did in class. On one hand, I think they want that, but I could speak to that we are, in addition to interviews that we did early, we continue to interview teachers about how they prepare culturally literate students for the workforce.
Right. So last night, the lecture was on experiments, remember? So,
tell me what your takeaway was.
Hang on a second. I took notes. It says pick experiments that produce the strongest evidence. Well, there's one right there. That's very strong evidence, okay? Identify what you want to learn from this type of user. That definitely that's a check mark there. Decide what visual aids will help you learn what kind of demos, 30-second snippets or a video. There it is right there. Okay, that helps us. Plus we have videos of teachers, with their interviews.
Right.
Design an experiment. What hypothesis do we want to prove? What's the target, the participants, and how many participants do we want to run the experiments with? Well, would you say that our experiments are the interviews and what we got out of the interviews, or what are our experiments?
Yeah. But the experiments we're doing now, doing today, for instance, are testing those ones that that I thought, other revenue streams, which should we do first? So what we're trying to do is to find where to start. Where's the best place to start? The best place to set that cornerstone. And so testing the others beside, just to make sure those are not, so that we can throw them out. So that's what we're going down the customer section and throwing those out. And so just asking those questions.
Well, and I think for the discussion with our slide 6, basically is, here's what we thought. This is our hypothesis.
Yeah.
So here's what we did. So you've got the film clip, and we did the interviews to find out what teachers needed in order to use this product. Okay, what would make it desirable for them to use it in their classrooms, right? So we got that information from them. We have it. We have that information.
That's here.
What MP did we use during our interviews? Obviously, you're saying 360 or Zoom, right?
Should we put up maybe our MVP? Make a screen of our MVP if we need to.
Yes.
I think that we should do that.
Actually, yes, because we referred everyone to it before we interviewed them.
Right.
That's huge. Right.
Okay, let me make a screenshot of that. Oh, this is the lady Regina who we're going to interview. So when it comes, she uses Weebly also. I'm gonna have to ask her if she's been having a hard time with her Weebly. I haven't been able to get Screen 360 TV up lately. Is it gonna come up today? I'm clicking on it now. Oh, something's happening with Weebly, I think.
Oh. I
haven't been able to bring it up today. I have a screenshot of it. Not the whole.
I used to be an EL teacher also. Yeah.
Did you look at their site?
What site?
The interview for 2:30, Regina.
I looked at it. Yes.
Oh, you did. Okay, and that's what you get. It's EL.
It's EL. I taught English. That was my first class teaching
Oh,
was in
English.
ESL. Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking up. Screenshot of Screen 360 TV is what I'm looking for. And I have something in the graphic design, which will be here. Close enough. This is, I can build from here. Up, day 3. And this one. Are you able to get to Screen 360 TV? Can you see could you make a screenshot? Actually, can you see that on your computer?
Oh, you've got it right here. Whoops.
Well, I have a version of it, but I mean, that's all we need. You're right. Something like that. Does that work?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I think this is key. We did this and they all went to this first and then we started our interviews. Every person checked it out.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's our MVP.
That's brilliant.
It's the website.
It was brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is our website, MVP. All right. David, Canada Day. What is this doing? Oh, no, we don't do that. Okay. Oh, it's Canada Day.
Oh, really?
getting a note here. Oh, right, that's what we wanted. Portal. P-O-R-T-L-E. Portal.
No,
That's it.
no. Isn't it?
It's
It's
P-O-R-T-A-L,
right?
right? But I'll say
Right.
and screening room. With embedded Zoom or whereby. Okay. Oh, drink of water. That's a really good idea. Drink water. Okay. Let us do that. I'll build this up a little bit, give it a block, and make it blue.
Screening room.
Yes, screening room. I have to separate that, huh? Not a transparent. I want this color, and I want that color. And screening room. Okay.
Nice.
Right. It also has program, and we do have okay. Okay, and it has program guide.
Yeah.
Schedule. What?
I don't think you get to write it all out.
Well, okay. I mean, it's just the things that are on program guide, schedule. These are all the things that have been prototyped. You haven't teacher's guide, guide. Guide. It's a guide. It's a guide for guides. Guide for guides. Or guides.
Now this is helpful. It is helpful.
Yeah, because I haven't shown that to you yet. Yeah, you haven't
No.
seen that program
No.
schedule, guide for guides, which I can send to.
You've done a lot of work. It looks really good, by the way. I looked at it more today.
Oh, cool, cool.
You've done a
cool,
lot.
Cool.
You've done a lot.
Oh, it's been all 9 years, 8-9 years, but I also
Mhm.
need. There's so much. I recognize that it's hard to present it. I can do it little by little, but I just need to go any further. I need help.
Mhm.
I need
Right,
help.
right.
And
Mhm.
like Mr. Rogers says, I need to find the helping hands.
That is true, though. That's true.
Right.
But
Okay.
you have a good foundation, though. It's very good.
I think so. I think so. Thank you. All right.
Mhm.
Is this enough to send to Jin?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Good. All right. Then I had a hard time sending it to him. It still doesn't feel like it goes to the right place, but I'll put it in there again. See, I send it move. So here, how to open folder in a new tab. I don't need to do that. I want to go to create, and it has to be creating a new folder in my drive. I don't want to do that. So how
Oh,
about here? See document status. All changes saved to drive. It's not ready for offline use, so maybe that's what I need to do. No, not there. I made a copy yesterday.
good.
Okay, I need to
Now make sure you
export
make
it.
a copy. Yeah, make sure.
I'll export it. Entire presentation. Okay, okay, my drive. Share with the same people. Yep. Copy comments. Good.
What are our channels? What are channels?
How we present our ideas. So it's through the MVP.
Okay, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, so download. I'm going to make a PDF document. And that's going in our whole Hack for Recover, our daily, and this is day 3. And I'll upload that to Jin. And then, okay. And that is, where is that? Okay, I separated it, I think. Okay. 210 almost. Drink of water. Just a second to take a drink of water.
Yeah.
You know what? Why don't we take a, have you eaten anything? I haven't eaten anything, and I need to take a break and come back in 2:30.
That's a great idea. I
Good.
like it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll see you in a bit.
2:30.
Like 2:30. Bye-bye.